Alright, we're on the PTR server right now. I'll do extensive testing after this video. We'll go over Tai first. He has a speed lead. Okay. General 25% speed lead, that's already very good. S1 multiplier is 1% of his max HP, that is extremely low. And then Spirit Aegis is reduces the chance of taking critical hits by 100%. That's kind of crazy though. And then each time after the carrier takes a hit, dispels one debuff from the carrier and himself, and increases his AP by 15%. After taking action, Chu Yao attacks all enemies 2 times. Damage per hit is equal to 3% of his max HP, extends the target's debuff by 1 turn. For every 1 debuff on the target, the final damage is plus 20%. Triggers once per 2 turns. Okay, so it's not going to be spamming this AoE attack, but once per 2 turns is pretty good still. With skill ups, it goes up to 4%, so 8% of his max HP. That's not bad at all. His S2 is a passive, grants Spirit Aegis to the ally with the highest attack at the start of combat. His ability effects won't miss, guarantees a critical hit if accuracy is equal to or higher than the target's. Alright, it has a cooldown for whatever reason. Okay, never mind. The cooldown is for this one, I think. I don't know why they added the cooldown over here and also on the skill itself. That's a little bit confusing. His S3 is dispels 3 buffs from each enemy, inflicts Seer, defense down, and Calamity for 2 turns. Calamity doesn't work on bosses, attacks all enemies 3 times, damage per hit is equals to 2% of attack with a 4 turn cooldown. Alright, very good. Calamity is for every 1 debuff on the carrier, final ability damage taken plus 10%. So this can go up to 100%, but again it doesn't work on bosses, so this is mostly for PvP and for tower contents. Then also final ability damage dealt minus 10%. Okay, never mind. There's a cap of 50%, which is still very high. That's like double of Seer. His Divinate is damage taken in combat minus 20%, so he has an innate 20% damage reduction. This is kind of crazy. He's going to be really good in PvP, I think. But keep in mind, he is a debuff based character. Chu Yao has kind of slowly fallen off in the meta. Less and less people are using Chu Yao currently. He might not have that much trouble, but immunity can still cuck him, right? He does dispel buffs, and he is very tanky as well because he's purely HP based character. You're going to be building him with maximum HP, with speed and crit damage, and also accuracy, right? Because if his accuracy is equal to the target, then he will have a 100% crit rate. His R2 is whenever he casts his S3, he gains a bonus turn. R4 is when Calamity expires, he dispels all buffs from the target and inflicts petrification for 1 turn, cannot be resisted. R6 is each time an enemy is inflicted with debuffs or their debuff durations are extended, the attack minus 3% up to 45%, and shield strength minus 6% up to 90% permanently, can't be resisted. So it does have a cap. For PvP against like Mavis and R2 Jinchu comp, this is going to be very helpful. It's probably going to be good against Iki as well, because every time you debuff Iki, you're going to reduce his attack even further. You'll be taking less damage from Iki overall. And in PvE, this can help you significantly to help your entire team survive. Minus 45% attack is huge, especially in Falsetto Fantasy. It doesn't allow your allies to be one-shot anymore, right? These are his stats. He has the fastest speed, I think, 108. Pretty low attack, but he doesn't need any attacks at all. His HP is quite high, his defense is okay. Rival Runes is Windwalker with a lot of speed as well. And also they gave him light above set. Accuracy is not 100%, so he's not going to be critting against ESPERS that have higher accuracy than him. His Ascension is accuracy, speed plus 7 and accuracy plus 20%. Okay, never mind. He has a accuracy Ascension, so he has 100% accuracy. Let's take a look at Wu Yu. Wu Yu has a captain ability for PvP, 40%. S1 is 30% 3 times. And then Grounded is plus 5% defense, plus 10% crit rate. And a maximum of 10 stacks, that's kinda a lot. Clears all stacks upon taking lethal damage. Shockproof is when taking a hit, plus 20% AP, triggers once per turn. Cannot be inflicted with defense down. Effect clears upon taking lethal damage. Her Ascension is crit damage, HP, and defense. Her S1 goes up to 50%, so 150% of her defense. That's quite high. Her S2 is attacks all enemy 2 times. Damage per hit is equals to 45% of defense. The higher the target's max HP, the higher the damage. Up to 200%. Extends an enemy ability cooldowns by 1 turn. When this ability ends, performs a pursuit attack with her S1. S3 attacks all enemies. Damage is equals to 120% of defense. Dispels all enemy buffs, inflicts buff blocker for 2 turns. When this ability ends, performs a pursuit attack with her S2. Passive is Wu Yu gains poise at the start of combat, grants shockproof to all defender teammates. This is the one I'm a bit skeptical of. You need to run her with defender ESPERS, but I think you don't need to run a full team of defenders. Maybe just her alone as the defender should be enough, because her damage is quite high with 120%, and then she goes into the 290% nuke on her S2, but it does take a while to build up, right? You need 10 stacks for her to do all of the nuke. Let's continue. When Wu Yu and teammates with shockproof take hits, deal true damage to the attacker. True damage is equal to 100% of the damage taker's defense. If Wu Yu is not incapacitated, she gains 1 stack of grounded. Effects triggers once per turn. When grounded stacks reach the limit, instantly cast this ability. When Wu Yu is the only survivor, on the ally side, the effects of poise will be changed to speed +1, but AP cannot be changed, cannot perform counter attacks or assist attacks, cannot be inflicted with debuffs. And poise is AP cannot be changed, active turns will be skipped, cannot perform counter attacks or assist attacks, cannot be inflicted with debuffs. Shockproof is the same. Okay, so alright, what I'm confused about is right here. It says that if Wu Yu is not incapacitated. Now the reason why this is weird is because she starts off the battle with the poise buff, and the poise buff, regardless of whether she's the only ally alive or she is with her team, she still cannot be debuffed, right? She should not be able to be inflicted with any debuffs, but they still include it right here if Wu Yu is not incapacitated for whatever reason, right? I'm gonna do some testing real quick, just a little bit of testing. They gave her Thunder set. I think the best set for her would be Hades set, because you want her to survive for as long as possible. But Hades set is not too bad. She has insane defense. She has what the yo, first Esper to have 0 speed. Wait, is it, what the fuck is this typo? Why does she have 0 speed? Oh, I get it now. The reason why they gave her 1 speed over here is because if she has 0 speed and she's the last one alive, she's not gonna take any turns, right? And that's the reason why they gave her 1 speed over here. She starts off the match, or rather she has a base speed of 0. We'll check that out later. They gave her Stone Vein set as well, very high crit damage, but 0 crit rate. But it doesn't matter because she gains the grounded buff, or sorry, the grounded buff gives her additional crit rate right here, plus 10%. And when you reach 10 stacks, you will do your nuke with 100% crit rate. So she will crit when you get her to 10 stacks and then do both of the nukes, right? Nuke 1, nuke 2, and then nuke 3. Let's take a look at her resonance. Did anything change? Grounded is now defense plus 10%. Poise is miss rate minus 100%. Accuracy plus 100%. Grounded is now crit rate plus 20%. Defense plus whoa. That is a massive increase. Now it's maximum 5 stacks. But this is also very significant of a resonance. I think her R4 is one of the most significant resonance in the game right now. Because now you only need to stack 5 times for her to do her massive nuke, right? 120% right here, and then another 290% followed up with another 150 single target. That is insanely high. Her R6 is when the target's defense is below hers, damage plus 20%. Yeah, this unit is going to be a menace in PvP. You can run her as the sole defender in the team, but for her to work the best, you would want to run her with other type of defenders. Forgot to show you her base stuff. There we go, 0 speed, like I said, and then defense pretty high. That's actually very high. I forgot to show you her divinate. This is her divinate right here. After casting S1, 100% chance of inflicting stun on the target for 1 turn. It's not really that important, but it's good for the stats alone, right? More stats means she's gonna do more damage. Her nuke is probably gonna one-shot the entire team. Alright, let's do some testing on this guy. He doesn't really need that much testing. I'm just gonna try to see how his skill looks like. Okay, so he's gonna do his passive at the start of his turn. So it goes on to cooldown. There we go. When I cast his S3, he's not gonna cast his passive again. Oh, look at that. Every single time my Clara took damage, he gained AP. Yeah, this one. This is gonna be massive in PvP as well. Every single time you take damage with your other Esper, this guy is gonna follow up. This guy is gonna get an AP push of 15%, which is pretty insanely high. Especially because... Oh wait, why did he use his... I don't understand why he uses... Okay, there's something weird with this guy. When I cast my S3 on Clara, he follows up for whatever reason. See, even though it's not his turn, he still end up using the S2 regardless, without taking his turn. So when I cast his S1 right here, Clara is going to follow up. There we go. But it doesn't go both ways, right? When Clara uses her S1, this guy is not going to follow up. Okay, so this guy is weird. I don't know. He keeps using his passive outside of his turns. I don't get it. Okay, so right here, once I take my turn, I think he's going to cast his passive because it goes off cooldown. He's going to use it instantly, I think. Yeah, okay. So whenever he gets it off cooldown, he will instantly cast it. And then also, one thing to note is that this is per hit, the one that he gains AP. There we go, he gains 30% AP right there because my Clara took 2 hits. So this passive right here is kind of busted because if the enemy does 5 hits, he's gonna gain 15 times 5 AP. That is so broken. What the hell? This guy is gonna be so annoying in PvP. Thinking about it, I might just R6 him instead of Lian. Alright, let's do some testing with the other Esper right now. She has 0 speed, but because she is the only one in the battlefield, she will end up having 1 speed. Okay, never mind, I died. So right now she has 1 speed, and whenever the enemies attack me, they will just keep taking damage by themselves because of the what's it called? Shockproof buff. And there we go. So now Donar also has the buff that allows him to retaliate with the damage. Right here, Shockproof. When taking a hit, AP plus 20%, triggers once per turn, cannot be inflicted with defense down. This is massive for defender type Espers because it's really hard for you to one-shot a defender type Esper without defending down them. There we go, okay. Now if I were to add a Leora, for example, Leora wouldn't get the buff because she is not a defender type character. There we go, she doesn't have the shockproof buff. Alright, this is a full team of defender. It's gonna be really difficult for the enemies to kill me. And whenever I get hit, they will gain AP. There we go. All of my allies will have the buff on them. And whenever they take damage, they will gain 20% AP. Okay, the AP gain is only once per turn. It doesn't count per hit, which is still overpowered as hell, but it's not as overpowered as per hit. So yeah, that's all the testing I'm going to do for this video. I'm going to do extensive testing on the next video. Both of the Espers looks completely busted as hell. I will definitely summon for this one. Hopefully I get her. I'm on the 50-50 PT right now. And I might R6 this guy right here because he is extremely tanky. He is HP scaling. His Divinate is also giving him damage reduction. And he's going to be very good for PvE as well. But his R6 is not really that important in my opinion. As long as you can survive in PvE, you don't really need it. It's mostly just for PvP. So yeah, we'll have to see. He has a very good leader skill as well. So yeah, you probably don't need her to... Oh my god. Yo. You probably don't need her to be with all full team defender type. You can probably just run her with another defender type, or even her alone as the defender. But it does take a while for you to build up her passive that way, right? Because for her to build up her grounded stacks, you would need the ally with the shockproof buff or herself to be damaged. Both of these espers looks completely busted as hell. Hopefully I get them. I have 120 something summons Shimmer record on my main account, and I also have enough to R5 the new esper, I think. But I'll wait to see whether I want to R6 him or not. That's about it, ciao.